Hello students. So today we will discuss about what is the element and what is the compound and what is the mixture. So in the previous class we will already discussed about what is the chemical substances. So let's be a quick revise what is the chemical substances. So chemical substances is also categorized into the two parts. First one is the pure substances and second one is the impure substances. So what is the pure substances? So pure substances are those which is made up of only one type of the molecules. And if we talk about what is the impure substances, the substances which is made up of by the more than the we can say the impure substances are those which is made by the more than the two molecules. So pure substances and impure substances. And if we talk about the pure substances, so there are some examples of the pure substances such as element and compound is the some examples of the pure substances. Now if we talk about the impure substances, so impure substances example is a mixture. So we write here the chemical substances. So chemical substances. So chemical substance is also categorized into the two part. First one is the pure substance and second one is the impure substance. So what is the pure substance? So pure substance are those which is made up of by one molecules, one type of molecules. So we write here what is the pure substance? Pure substance is made of only one type of molecules. Okay, and impure substance. So what is the impure substance? Which is made more than two molecules. Okay, so chemical substances is categorized into the two parts. First one is the pure substance and second one is the impure substance. Pure substance are those substances which is made up of only one type of the molecules, and impure substances are those substances which is made by the more than the two molecules. Now if we talk about the examples of the pure substances, so example in element and compound. So element and compound is the examples of the pure substance. And now if we talk about the impure substance, so the examples of the impure substance is mixture. Okay, so now today we will discuss about what is the element. So first of all we discussed about here what is the element. So element is what is the elements? First of all, so element is that which is made up of only one type of the atoms. So once I repeat what is the element, so the pure substance, we write here the definition of the element. So what is the element? So element, the substance, the pure substance, we can say the pure substance which is made up of only one type of the element, or we can say the one type of the atoms are known as the element. So we write here the definition of the element. So what is the element? The pure substance which is made by one type of atom is called element. Okay, so what is the element? The pure substance which is made by one type of atom is called element. Now if we talk about some examples of the element, so hydrogen, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, oxygen, etc. So these are some examples of the element: hydrogen, calcium, magnesium, sulfur and oxygen. And each element has a set of distinct property. That means that if we talk about the hydrogen, so our hydrogen has the some properties which is different from the calcium. So each element has a set of distinct properties. So we write here each element has distinct set of property. Okay. Now if we talk about the how many elements present in the universe, so there are mainly 118 elements, 118 known element to us till date. Okay, so there are mainly 118 known element to us till date. Okay, and 92 element present in nature, or we can say the occurrence in nature. So 118 known element to us till date and 92 elements present in nature. Now if we talk about the most abundant element which is present in the nature, so hydrogen and helium, the most abundant element which is present in the nature. So we write here the most abundant element is hydrogen and helium. Okay, so the most abundant element is hydrogen and helium which is present in the nature. So this is the definition of the elements. So first we quick revise what is the elements. So the pure substance which is made by one type of atom is called the element, and some example of the element: hydrogen, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, oxygen. These are the some examples of the element, and each element has a distinct set of property. That means the different type of the element has the different type of the properties, and there are mainly 118 known element and 92 elements present in nature. And the most abundant element in is hydrogen and helium which is present in the nature. Now next we discussed about the compound. So what is the compound? So compound, when two or more than the two elements. Once I repeat, when two or more than the two elements are combined in a fixed ratio, then form the compound. So what is the compound? So when two or more than the two elements are combined in a fixed ratio, then form the compound. So we write here the definition of the compound. So what is the compound? When two or more than two element are combined in a definite proportion. That means fixed ratio. Okay, is called compound. So what is the property of the compound? So when two or more than the two elements are combined in a definite proportion, that means the fixed ratio, is called the compound. Now if we talk about some examples of the compound, so water is an example of the compound. Water, sodium chloride is an example of compound, and ferrous sulfide is also a example of the compound. So water, sodium chloride, ferrous sulfide is some examples of the compound. So now if we talk about the compound, if we talk about the water, so water is made up of by the hydrogen and oxygen. So we write here the hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so hydrogen and oxygen, water and oxygen. Water is made up of by the hydrogen and oxygen, and the constituent property that means the by which the compound is made is different from the compound. Okay, now if we talk about we take the water. So water, the property of the water is different from the hydrogen and oxygen. Now hydrogen is a combustible substance. Which substance? Combustible substance. And oxygen is supported to combustion. Supported to combustion. Okay, so hydrogen is combustible substance and oxygen is supported to the combustion, but the compound which is formed with the help of hydrogen and oxygen is water, and water is neither combustible substance and nor supported to the combustion. So we can say the constituent property of the element is different from the water. So we write here the constituent property of the element is different from the compound. Okay, so constituent property of the element is different from the compound. Okay, so these and one more thing, the compound is if we talk about the separation of the constituent particles from the compound, so it the physical method does not use for the separation of the constituent particles from the compound. That means the physical method is not used for the separation of the compound. So now next we talk about the mixture. So what is the mixture? So mixture is an impure substance. So what is the impure substance? Which is made up of by the more than the two molecules, different molecules. So we write here the definition of the mixture. So what is the mixture? So mixture are the substance, or we can say the impure substance which is made up of by the two or more than the two element in any ratio, not a fixed ratio, or we can say not a definite ratio. So we write here the definition of the mixture: the impure substance, which is impure substance in which two or more than two element are mixed in any ratio is called, and mixed any ratio is called mixture. Okay, mixture, it is called the mixture. Now if we talk about some examples of the mixture, so salt solution, salt, solution, and one more, sugar solution, sugar solution, etc. It's some examples of the mixture. So what is the mixture? Mixture are the impure substance which is mixed physically, okay, which mixed physically in any proportion, or we can say that in any ratio, then the product which is formed is known as the mixture. And some examples of the mixture: salt solution and sugar solution. So thanks for watching my video.